Virender Sehwag. Gets off the mark. Typical Sehwag fashion. Likes to score in boundaries and gets off the mark with the last ball of the first over for a boundary. The Indians, and they will look at Virender Sehwag flourishing. This is a real classic. No protection on the leg side. Half volley asking for trouble.
Used the pace beautifully. That one once again swung into the right-hander batsman. Beautifully picked. Sheer timing once again. I tell you that. Sehwag stays there. This score will look easy. You know, India still needs 480 to avoid the follow-on.
Hold into the turf. Beautifully placed, and what great timing. Virender Sehwag is off to a brilliant start. Couple of very nice shots. Maybe he'll have a lighter bat when he's facing the new ball and then turn to a heavier stuff later on. Now that is that's sloppy cricket from Pakistan. That ball is run away for extra runs. 4 conceded. I think fielding side was not prepared to back or even take that return from Shoaib Malik.
Not quite sure what happened there, but Rahul Dravid ended up with 4 more runs to his credit.
.34 without a wicket. That's gone through the gap. Crunchy drive. Virender Sehwag is not going to spare the loose stuff.
That's a good shot. That's an authoritative punch.
Tremendous strike rate. That's played away from the fielder. Very good shot. Great timing once again from Sehwag. That certainly will frustrate Shahid Afridi. Welcome back. In fact, it's a very warm welcome again to all our viewers. Pakistan versus India, pictures coming to you courtesy joint production of ARY Digital and 10 Sports. The delayed start, but thankfully we have our start. India 65 without a wicket. Virender Sehwag will resume the show. He's on 36 of just 35 balls. Looked in very good touch. Finds the gap. Mohammad Yusuf will give up the chase very quickly. First 4 of the day struck by Virender Sehwag. India 71 without a wicket. Catch it was the initial call, but he plays this shot really well, Virender Sehwag. Pretty much intentional.
Pretty safe shot once there's no third man in place, even if it carries a bit further in the air than he was expecting. There's no one down in the third man region to run in and take the catch. All he has to do is make sure that he gives himself the extra room so that the ball doesn't follow him and cramps him, and then that way he'll just hit it over the top of gully and not to gully. And if you're not absolutely sure about the strength of your ant lord,
that was intentional. Another boundary, well struck. Very difficult to nominate the fielder in the right place when someone is playing an uppish cut shot. You've got to be lucky really to be underneath the ball.
You have to be very tall to get to that. I don't think even Joel Garner would have been able to take a catch off that shot in the gully region. They were hoping it would carry down to third man, but wide of third man and wouldn't have carried on the full anyway.
Another cracking shot. What a way to get to your 50. Reaching it with a lot of style. It's been a blistering knock. 11th Test match 50. This has been a good positive response from Indian batting.
I don't think it's going to be very fruitful to bowl outside the off stump to Virender. Sehwag. Not that wide of off stump at any rate. I think you need to be a bit straighter. Bring that bat pad into play. Inside edge onto the pad or onto the thigh pad. Well, he's happy. He enjoys batting against Pakistan.
Been more attractive than the first one. Slow one's been punched by Virender Sehwag. And even though Shoaib Malik is quick, will he have a chance? No chance in the end. Lightning quick outfield. To tell you more about it, we've got Arun Lal and Dean Jones.
India, even after a century opening partnership, still trailing by 575 runs here. In the air. Oh, one bounce wide. It's gone away for 4. Lucks of fortune.
A good hit. Now he's almost always waiting on the back foot, Virender Sehwag. That's where he likes to be. In the air for a while though. He hit it pretty well. Got it in the air, but the good thing about it was that he was directing it into the gap. And Kanaria couldn't quite make it.
Well, this just gone past a partnership between Sunny Gavaskar and Arun Lal here back many years ago in 1982-83, where both you two greats. Well, he just thought about letting it go over the top of the slips, but it just come off so slowly, he thought, oh, I'll just ram it down to third man for 4. That's how good he is.
Really, the thing that stands out about that shot is that he wasn't committed even till the last instant. He thought about going over the slips. He thought it would bounce a lot more than it did. And when it didn't, just directed it. So he's not totally committed. He can also abort at the last instant, I would imagine.
That's how good he is, isn't he? He just thought when he saw the length so quickly, I'll let it go, then it come off so... Oh, look, I've got enough time to play another shot. Oh, hello. The difference between him and some of the stroke play that we saw from Pakistan is the fact that he can hit the ball at 360 degrees. He's got all the time in the world, and he hits the ball down the ground.
And it's also, no, he's not bludgeoning his shots. There's a lot of grace in it, and he's straight batted it past extra cover. Now that's as good a shot as any that you'd see. That's really not the length to be bowling to Virender Sehwag, because he's already on the back foot. That's where he loves it.
Well, he's got 72 and he's hit 15 boundaries, so he's not too keen on running. Look at that. Naveed bowling really. This guy's a class act too. What a shot. Oh, as if he thought, oh, I can hit it through extra cover, or maybe through cover point. Oh, damn it, I'll whack it through backward point. And that's what he did.
He's just so good at this shot. He's in position, almost in his stance, just waiting.
Sehwag on 96. He likes spinners. And there we go. That brings up the century.
Well, I haven't seen Sehwag blocking anything coming from Danish Kanaria. That one turned a little bit, but beautifully on top of it. Well-deserved 100, beautifully played. Only faced 93 deliveries. This is 11th Test 100. So the man is in great nick.
The first ball faced. As he said, if it's there to be hit, I'll hit it. His 4th century against Pakistan.
Well, Mikey, I don't think it was there to be hit, but he made it.
That'd be sensible from Rahul Dravid, because he gives him runs, and runs are important. That's a boundary, lovely shot. Well, she saw herself on the big screen and enjoyed it. Down the track, that's gone over the top of the fielder. He's unstoppable, Virender Sehwag.
There was a man in the deep, just 10 yards inside the boundary line, but Sehwag will take him on. 25th boundary. A little bit of risk involved.
That's a beautiful shot, excellent shot.
Driving on 48. But before we do that, we'll just have a bit of that. By gee, he's a great player, isn't he? He really is. It's his 27th.
That's a good map.
Oh, that's a class shot. Wow. Once he gets bored of hitting the ball on the offside, they start to tail it in the middle and leg. And after a while, when he gets to this stage, he's pretty good on his legs as well, let me tell you.
Well, that's probably why they're not pitching it up to him, because he can come up with shots like this. This is the second time he's played this particular shot in his innings. He keeps the bat blade very straight.
11 runs off this over. What about a few more? Add 4 more to that. Make it 15. Wow! I better take a break. 234 for no loss.
No third man, so that brings up the 250 for India.
No fear at all in Sehwag's mind. Played that very late. That was just touch outside the off stump coming in, and he knew that there's no third man. Just a very, very late cut.
4.
Against the break. And if they sort of bowl a couple of mid-overs to him, maybe he'd react a little strangely, but not so. He's just used the pace of the delivery to get another boundary.
The slow nature of the pitch not helping. Just marginally short in length, but the batsman has enough.
Get the impression that something's got to give now. How does Sehwag react?
He's in the air, but also in the gap. Catch was the call from the bowler, but it's disappeared to the boundary.
This is very smart cricket indeed. Just waited for him to come a little closer towards that off stump and played inside out, finding that gap. Didn't bother to try and keep it all along the ground. He was in the air for a while. He forced the issue somewhat, but the important thing was that he had to get that gap, and he got it. Got his left foot out of the way, played it beautifully through the covers.
This time, taking the man on in the deep, is gone, over long on. It's a no ball as well, and the first 6 of the Indian innings.
Yes, indeed, this is probably the first 7 of the Indian innings. But I got the impression that he did hear the call and go for it. Got the no ball call and went over. Now, mind you, there is that fielder at long on, about 15 yards in. But what a hit this was. Clean. So the first 6 for Sehwag, and against the turn. Now, he read it correctly. I don't think there was turn in it. It was the wrong one.
It was the wrong. Oh, that's magical. Effortless from Virender Sehwag.
Beautifully done once again. He's really played fabulously well in this innings of his. Again, the effort was not there to try and hit it too hard. It's just timing, pure timing, on the rise, slightly in his quarter, bowled up to him. Full face of the bat, minimal footwork, but the toe pointing in the direction where he wanted to hit the ball. Great balance. Quickly on to 177.
He's quite content to pick up singles, Virender Sehwag.
As far as I'm concerned, Shiva, he's really played this innings to perfection. His shot selection has been immaculate. His concentration has been perfect.
And he will start to bowl round the stump straight away. Gives himself a little bit of room. Virender Sehwag just ambling across. He knew he had made good contact. It's always a good ploy to attack the new bowler.
Well, nothing's going to stop Virender Sehwag. He's not scared to hit it in the air. Beautifully done, straight over the bowler's head. There was a long on and there was a mid-off, so there was a bit of a gap if he just passed the infield. Now that mid-off fielder has dropped back.
And good sensible cricket now. He's pushed the field back. Easy pickings, 1s and 2s for Sehwag.
He's definitely not enjoying it. Has he got his man? No, says umpire. Rudy Gudson not interested. Out of the rough. Bounced, but Dravid himself also not at all impressed by the appeal.
No contact with the bat. Has this tendency to play bat in front of pad, Rahul Dravid, most times. Just missing the edge, just clipping the pads. 296 for no loss. You know who he's supporting? 10 Sports, joint production with ARY. He's toying with the bowlers. Virender Sehwag having a lot of fun. Also brings out the 300 for India. Does make a difference to Sehwag. He's still timing the ball extremely well.
Even a better shot. Off the front foot. The idea is not just to time it, that the idea is also to hit it into the gaps, and he finds them magically, so it's almost as though the ball goes into gaps automatically, but that's not the case. He's making those gaps. He's always trying to play it squarer than the line of the delivery. Made room for himself once again and played into that gap. That was a cracker.
And again, same result. He's racing away. He's on 195. Would you believe it? 3 4s in a row.
Catch was the call, but he very deliberately played it over that deep gully fielder or short point, whatever you want to call him. Correction, not over, but past him. He's just equaled his score at Melbourne. 195. Not out. He holed out at long on that occasion to a full toss at 195.
Oh, this is an absolute gem. Magnificent.
He keeps getting better. 199 to Virender Sehwag. 4 boundaries in this over. And this probably was the best of the lot. Round the wicket. Trying to take it across him. Got into position perfectly and nobody moved. Mid-off and extra cover. Didn't bat an eyelid.
For Virender Sehwag, is it? Just short of the fielder. Yes, they cross over. The second fastest double hundred ever. The fastest was by Nathan Astor. This is the second fastest ever. This man is having a great time.
Well, he came very close to throwing it away at 199. It almost carried to that third man fielder. But he has got a stupendous double hundred. Second fastest ever in the history of the game, and really has brought everybody up on their feet. What an amazing innings. And he does favor this Pakistan attack. 38 boundaries in his 182 ball 200.
2 double hundreds and a triple hundred against Pakistan for Sehwag.
widening the gap. He ran with the ball, Shoaib Malik. Another boundary for VIRENDER Sehwag.
I think Shoaib Malik is perhaps the quickest of the fielders in this test match. And he didn't have a chance of cutting that off. It's a very fast outfield. And he certainly didn't intend to dive.
Catch. Beg your pardon? That's been crashed.
Well, so far, none of these batsmen look even close to being out. And if VIRENDER Sehwag bats through, and when I say through, I mean to the end of this test, well, that world record could be threatened.
He'll have 1,000. Don't bother about the world record. You feel that he's losing his focus, but he bats like this from the first ball. Even when he's matured in the innings, in the middle part of his innings, he's like this, very casual, carefree. Edge, and once again Inzamam-ul-Haq was late in reaction to that edge.
That was in Multan, and he hit 36 boundaries, and he's already hit 40 here.
Well, just actually, you're wrong, it's 41. A poor delivery it was. Oh, even the Pakistani fans really, they just love him because he's got 3 scores over 200 in his career now. I know it's in the slot, I know it should have gone, but the way he's batted has just been absolutely brilliant. You're retired, Waqar, because I know you were great, but I'd like to see you get a wicket on this wicket. Fine deflection, looking for 2. What about 4 instead? That's how quick this ground is. Add that along with it, and that was just a quite over. 8 off it, 370 for no loss. Don't laugh, Inzamam-ul-Haq might ask him to bowl later on today, because I've just been told it's the highest score, highest opening partnership ever against Pakistan, defeating where Smith and Gibbs got 368 versus Pakistan in Cape Town in 2003. They're still trailing by 309 runs. Both players have taken the helmets off. The batsman looks a lot better with the cap on, doesn't he? Just runs it away for another boundary. Doesn't even bother to run. Why would you?
No need to. That's 42nd boundary for VIRENDER Sehwag. That was a quicker one. That all he did is just put it in the place. There's this huge gap there. Nicely played. Very late. And this outfield is lightning.
Let's do that again. That's his 43rd boundary. The most ever boundaries in a test innings is 52. John Edridge got that. And he's not too far away behind that. 9 boundaries there. Edridge. 52 boundaries out of his 310 back against New Zealand. And let's add that to 44 now. So he's up to equal with Laxman now. If he gets one more boundary, he scored the most number of boundaries in an innings in a test match, defeating VVS Laxman against Australia back in 2001 by an Indian.
Don't worry about it, Dina. He's going to break the Edridge record also. It's not too far away. 52 boundaries he hit. This was his 44th. It's
amazing not by an Englishman to score 52 boundaries and just 310 not out. That's blown me away. John Edridge there against New Zealand. That's the off spinner there. And down the ground. A really good over there. 5 just off it. 389 for no loss. Sehwag just looking around the ground now, trying to find those boundaries. Oh, that's where he's looking to hit them, down there, and he gets another one. That's a beautiful shot, because you realise there's boundaries covered everywhere, but he let the ball come on so late and then just opened the blade up. He's a class act.
Not only against the spinners, he also played this particular shot very nicely against the pace bowler. That one was a little quicker. Nicely played there.
Most boundaries by an Indian in a test innings. There he is. He's got 45 now. 7 behind the record. Beautifully bowled. And more importantly, it's the second highest opening partnership ever. I think that's fine. That's on that side. They're the only, or more importantly, down the ground he can get. There's 3 spots we've got for him. That's where he likes to hit. And on the onside, there's only 1 spot, and that's through there. Or there. Did we cover that spot? I don't think we did. There's so many options. 46, and that's the 400, and he's just gone past Brian Lara, and he's equal with Bradman for the second most ever boundaries by a player in a test innings.
I don't think, Dino, you have to tell him where to hit. He knows his area very well.
But that's a very, very good knock. Another milestone. Smashes it through the covers. Another boundary. Oh, he's a fantastic player. Would you believe he's the 67th player, or 67th time to score over 250 runs by a player in a test match. So it's done a few times, isn't it? But what a shot. That's his 47th boundary. Only John Edridge has scored more 4s in a test innings. A beautiful shot. Typical Sehwag. Now he's 1 boundary away for the record here. Oh, there's a slip there, looking for that little fiddle. That could be out, it is. He's trying to run it over the top of Sims, and Pakistan have got a wicket.
Sensational partnership comes to an end. Run on a bit, the man to pick up a wicket. It was a short delivery, and Virender Sehwag, the kind of player, is not going to let it go. But it's been a magnificent innings. Coming to a sad end, but joy finally for Pakistan, picking up their first wicket in this test match.
Short ball, trying to ramp it over, 3rd slip, 2nd slip, and all he did was help it on its way to Cameron Akmal. Not complaining now about the light, sir, are you? Well caught. Great knock, sir. Fantastic. Well played. 254.